When Asian sneakers come to mind, you probably think Chinese brands like Anta, Li-Ning, Peak, 361 Degrees, X-Step, and Rigor. But did you know that there are at least two Japanese basketball sneaker brands out here in Asia?
NANI?!
On one hand, you have Asics, and on the other hand, you have Egozaru. Asics just recently released the Nova Surge 3, while Egozaru just launched their latest shoe, the Ego Blaze. If you're curious enough to want to know about these shoes and their respective brands, stick around, let's talk. Welcome back, this is Fresh Bear. Smash the thumbs up button, share this video to your friends, follow me on Instagram, and if you're new here, subscribe to my channel for updates. That said, let's dive in. On September 1949, Asics was established under the name Onitsuka. Founder Kihachiro Onitsuka began by creating basketball shoes in Kobe, Japan, and from there, Asics grew and expanded to other sports as well as lifestyle goods. Fun fact number 1. Asics is actually an acronym and it stands for the Latin phrase Anima sana in corpore sano, which translates to a sound mind in a sound body. Fun fact number 2. Nike founder Phil Knight initially sold Asics Onitsuka Tiger shoes starting in 1963, but the business relationship eventually fell apart. Obviously, the Asics Nova Surge 3 is the third edition of the Nova Surge series, so let's backtrack. The Nova Surge 1 is a high top from late 2020. It uses the brand's flight foam cushioning and gel technology at the heel. It had a textile upper, while the wide, solid rubber outsole had great bite on the floor to go with superb stability. However, it felt somewhat heavier than its contemporaries from other brands. Then came the Nova Surge 2 in 2022. The shoe had almost the same features as the first version, but this time with the upper changed to an open mesh type of fabric, the lacing setup switched asymmetrically, and with a slight reduction in weight. The traction pattern was also modified. Now Asics returns with the Nova Surge 3. It's still a high top silhouette, but this time it uses the FF Blast Plus or Flight Foam Blast Plus cushioning foam, which is said to be 19% lighter than the original Flight Foam. All the rest looks the same with a slight modification in the traction pattern. Compared to Asics, Egozaru is relatively new. Egozaru, which is owned by Three Prayer Company, was founded on May 2014. The logo is rather interesting. It's a walking ape with what looks like a ball in hand. Egozaru's first basketball shoe was the Egozaru Ego Awake, which released on April 2022. The mid-top shoe has a basic setup: synthetic upper, standard lacing setup, EVA foam midsole, and a rubber outsole that had either solid rubber or translucent ones. On November 2023, Egozaru launched the Ego Awake 1.5, which was an updated version of the first. The upper was changed to open mesh fabric while keeping the other materials in the first version. Recently, Egozaru launched its latest basketball shoe, the Ego Blaze. This mid-top shoe primarily has a knitted upper with synthetic leather panels at the back. The cushioning uses a full-length dual-layer midsole with a shank in the middle. First layer is what the brand calls Ego Dune, which is said to be a high-resilience foam. The second layer is an EVA foam. For the outsole, solid rubber is used with modified herringbone traction pattern. The Ego Blaze retails for around $110. It's always good to have multiple options for basketball shoes, and it doesn't hurt if we have Japanese brands adding to that list. While they may fly under the radar for now, don't remove them off the list just yet, as they could come out with better shoes than the other brands. But the thing is, Asics and Egozaru have limited global distribution, so even if they provide alternatives to the established brands, it will still be not easy to get a pair. The shipping costs alone could be a turnoff for many, and this will definitely prevent these brands from further growing. In the meantime, let me know what you think about Asics and Egozaru, two Japanese footwear brands. Post your thoughts in the comment section, smash the thumbs up button, share this video to your friends, follow me on Instagram, and if you're new here, subscribe to my channel for updates. This is Fresh Bear, thanks for watching, peace and love to the fellow underdogs.